Have you ever been a broke college student in need of a cheap and easy to make meal? Well, I have an answer for you, and that answer is spaghetti or just any type of pasta. My name's Avian, and my credibility on this subject is that I am a college student that likes to save money. So I cook a lot of spaghetti. I also happen to be mostly Italian. In this video, there's going to be three main sections. First, I'm going to show you the tools you need to actually make the spaghetti. Next, I'll show you how to actually heat the spaghetti along with the sauce. And finally, at the end, I'll give some thoughts about places you can buy spaghetti and how to get it for really cheap. Knowing how to make spaghetti is a great skill that everybody needs to learn at some point, or just pasta broadly, because it opens the door to so many different combinations of food and an entire ethnic cuisine that you can get access to. And it's also just very cheap, as I've said before, for college student, and a great starter meal for anybody wanting to learn how to cook. Alrighty, so for supplies you're obviously going to need a solid spoon for the sauce, spaghetti spoon for the spaghetti, nothing surprising there, a decent sized pot to boil the water in the spaghetti, and then of course you're going to need the pasta itself. In this video, if you can't tell yet, we're doing spaghetti. You're going to need some kind of sauce. It can be Alfredo, it can be tomato. There's so many options out there. Olive oil is a must in my opinion. I've heard some use butter. I like to use salt, put it in the water. This is optional. And normally I would also recommend you use Parmesan cheese. Oh yeah, and you also need a strainer. Next, you're gonna need to drizzle some olive oil on a paper towel and kind of smear it on the inside of the pan. Doing this will prevent the pan from overflowing. Alrighty, once you got the olive oil smeared in there, you're gonna want to pour some water into the pan. After the water's about yay high, you're gonna want to boil it on like medium-high heat until it boils. While you're at it, add salt. And right after you start boiling that water, make sure you start your sauce kind of at a medium-lowish temperature. Nothing else you really need to add to the pan here. Just make sure you put the cover on it so it doesn't splatter everywhere. Alright, so once your water obviously starts to boil with the bubbles, you want to turn it down a little bit on the stove. Lift the lid off, be a little careful here, and put the desired amount of spaghetti in the thing. And also, once this starts splattering over here, you want to turn this down. In fact, it actually got so bad I took it off the stove. And what's important is at the moment you put the spaghetti in, you got to stir it around. One more little side note. Once your spaghetti's kind of going for a bit, it'll be about an 8 to 10 minute process. So you want to look up at whatever stove top and just count 8 to 10 minutes. And periodically maybe even take a piece of spaghetti out and try it and see if it's the stiffness you like. Alright, so what I like to do is I kind of like to shake it a little bit. Try and get as much of the water out as possible. And then what you want to do when that's all done is put it in the pan. And then either leave it here or put it wherever you want it to be served. And then, I guess I didn't list this originally. You're going to need a plate. Alright, so once you have the amount of spaghetti you want on your plate, you can take this lid, put it over there. Take the spoon I told you guys about earlier. Kind of just take a good amount. This kind's going to be a little bit thicker because it is a 3 cheese kind that I put, that I got from Baker's. And then, yeah, just put the desired amount of sauce you want on there. Alright, for the last big idea I wanted to talk about today, it was the types of pasta and where you can get them for very cheap. So just happened to be in my house as I came home. We have angel hair, which is like a thinner version of spaghetti, used in different combinations, has an entirely different texture. This was the spaghetti we used tonight. It's from Barilla. It's decent. It's middle of the pack type, nothing fancy, nothing super cheap. We got great value rotini, great values, incredibly cheap. Rotini, kind of similar to rigatoni, kind of not. I use spaghetti sauce when I cook it at my apartment. This is the spaghetti sauce I used tonight. The Prego 3 cheese Italian. It's pretty good. It goes for $2.50 at Walmart. Sometimes at Baker's you can get a deal with it. And then this is a 4-pack of great value spaghetti. Cheap Walmart brand. A 1-pack runs you $1. So $1 plus 2.5, 3.5 for multiple servings of spaghetti and 1 to 2 servings of sauce. That is quite the steal if you ask me. And where do I buy these sauces and and pastas. Usually I go to either the Walmart on Harville Drive, pretty close to Bellevue University, or I go to Baker's right off Galvin Road. Both of them within 5 minutes of the university. Now, after all of that, you finally know the basics of spaghetti, pasta, and cheap dorm food living. This is a cheap meal option while also teaching yourself how to cook and actually not being lazy. And also it teaches you to do quite a few dishes as you might see in that sink. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial and now you know how to cook spaghetti.